This is another episode of the President's Diary podcast, and it is a podcast about global affairs and how leaders can respond to the opportunities and challenges that are shaping the future. And speaking of challenges, we have amongst geopolitical instability and economic issues, climate change is one of the greatest challenges that the world is facing right now. And we have come to look at a very crucial and very controversial. I say crucial because the effects are everywhere, and I say controversial because it has a lot of denialism about it. Yeah. And we want to look at how we can adopt a new approach to the climate crisis. So maybe we start by you introducing yourself and a little bit what you do. I know you're from Bangladesh and you're joining in from Bangladesh. So maybe you introduce yourself and maybe the work you do. Sorry, that's my note taker joining in.
Okay.
Yeah.
First of all, thank you so much, Destiny, to invite me in your podcast. And let me introduce myself that I am a youth from Bangladesh, which is actually, we all know Bangladesh is one of the most vulnerable climatic disaster country. And I'm Jasmima Sabatina. Currently, I'm studying environmental science and climate management from Bangladesh and also working with Yango as contact point of loss and damage working group. So I'm handling the loss and damage working group and also doing research on climate thing, topics and things. Yeah, that's all my side.
Amazing, amazing. Oh, just before I get into the first question, I always get this term about loss and damage, maybe for the audience.
Is
Maybe,
my voice is clear?
yes, it's clear. I can get you from there, right? Yeah, I just want you to explain to me, maybe you can give me a rundown of the concept of loss and damage. I know it's a term used in a lot of climate negotiations. So I don't know if you could, break it down so maybe the audience can get a little more clarification on it.
Okay. Okay. So, there is so many topics in climate topics. So there is adaptation, there is mitigation, there is loss and damage. So mainly, when UNFCCC, the COP were actually established, there is three main pillar, which is adaptation, mitigation, and loss damage. So these are the three pillar of COP and UNFCCC they are focusing on, and from the funding mechanism are established in that criteria. So loss and damage is that beyond the adaptation and mitigation, that we cannot mitigate, cannot adapt, and this is the result of loss and damage. If I actually um, break the loss and damage, that loss is totally lost, we cannot actually repair due to the climate change, and damage is we can repair over the time. So by this loss and damage, when the UNFCCC pillar are established, it also established that loss and damage fund that I have to ensure to the global south, those who are actually affected due to the climate change. So this is a short description because there is a vast thing about loss and damage. So I'm just summarize a short keynotes that this is loss and damage.
Okay,
Yeah,
amazing. I think later in the discussion, we're going to get detailed into that.
of course.
Yeah, so
Yes.
before I put to you my first question, I just want to read a report. I just had this report yesterday by the Climate Reality Project, and I'll just read through it so you can follow. And it says Bangladesh produces about 0.3%.
Um,
Can you get me? Okay, sorry. Yeah, I'll just get back to the report. It says Bangladesh produces about 0.3% of global greenhouse emissions, but Bangladesh ranks number 9 on the 2024 World Risk Index report for countries most vulnerable to extreme climate events. And amongst those lists, let me say, amongst the list, the top 10 countries include Philippines, Indonesia, India, Colombia, Mexico, Myanmar, Mozambique, Russia, Bangladesh at number 9, and Pakistan at number 10. And from the data, it shows that from 2000 to 2019, Bangladesh has suffered economic losses worth about $3.7 billion and over 185 extreme weather events. Hmm, that's a lot. So I just want to ask, I just want to find out from you, have you in your lifetime or in any instance witnessed some of these extreme weather events or these climate change events, and how did your government respond, or how did your local community respond to it?
Yes, I do actually experience that, and it's not any too much back. It's
Mhm.
just past year in 2024. In 2024, we face a disaster flood, which is very much heavy, and also which is very much a disaster due to the climate change. So
Mm,
in Bangladesh is one of the most climate vulnerable countries in the world, we all know, facing sea level rise, river erosion, flash flood, sanitation, especially in coastal areas. So, but when the often overlooked is how Bangladesh is also became a global example of resilience and innovation in the face of these challenges. The government has been actually proactive because it's a call that Bangladesh is master of adaptation. We call ourselves, and also globally, it's also recognized that Bangladesh is a master of adapting policies like the Bangladesh Climate Change Strategy and Action
mhm,
Plan (BCCSAP), establish a climate change trust fund. So with domestic resources, and also integrate climate into the national planning. The recent Delta Delta Plan is another visionary step focus on the long-term water and climate resilience. So at the same time, if I say that the government, not only government, as a youth, as a civil society, as a local people, all they are all proactive for the climatic change, because when the disaster happens, and not only happens, we have the early warning system also, the early warning systems that throughout the year we training our governments, CSOs, youth, that if the disaster happens, what we should do.
mhm,
And also they play a great role. NGOs and grassroots movements and youth-led, which is initiatives, organizations, pushed community-based and adaptation as early warning system I mentioned, and also floating agriculture and awareness camping, which uh, led by youth. And also, so while the risks actually ongoing, Bangladesh story is not just one of vulnerability, it
mhm,
is also a story of leadership, creativity, and hope. So we are showing the world that climate solution can from the frontliners,
mhm,
because if we not give us, we just hoping that give us the fund. No, okay, give us the fund, okay, but what we have, we will do with that small thing. So I must say that our government is very much active in climate issues, disaster issues. We have ministries like disaster ministry,
mhm,
then climate change ministry, forest ministry. So we have some ministry, and also there is lots of CSOs, those who are actually working on climatic thing, and there is a huge vast alliance, a group of maybe 30 to 35 organizations, CSOs organizations, those are actually alliance with them, and then they are planning to go forward for the response to the climate. And these are the CSOs case. And also we have youth-led organizations. There are lots of youth, those who are working coastal area, those who are working urban area. They are also connected in Facebook, LinkedIn, in social media,
mhm.
connected with each other, do campaigns, do trainings for the climate. So this is the positive thing I actually mention about my country. So yeah, that's all.
Okay, amazing. Have you witnessed any instances of climate change denial, and how did your community or your government respond to it? Because we know, despite the statistics that we have, and despite the evidences, and despite the disasters that we still have a lot of people who deny that the existence of climate change. So I just want to find out from you if you have an instance like that in Bangladesh, and how did your community and your government respond to it?
Okay. So how do actually command climate fatigue to the denialisms in the society? So make first, in my personal opinion, is all about to spread the good news what we have,
Mhm.
because many people experience the climate fatigue because they are feel disconnected from
Mhm.
the issue. Because right now I'm working in a climate sector, but my friend is not working in climate sector, but she is also suffering now. So we have to connect it with everyone to the everyone. So the issues are overwhelmed by, if this we need to localize the narrative, that instead to abstract data, we should tell human stories, how flood, heat waves or droughts are affected to the real communities. When people can relate that the problem is emotionally, they are more likely to care and act. So this is the mainly the related reliable to the personal thing, an emotional thing. So, and another thing is that we should set a fear to hope. Not always we have to fear that climate, we will die, we will flooding, we will everything. Not just a fear, it's a hope, right? So constantly focus on doom to on and distraction can lead a burnout. So we need to talk about more solutions. We cannot actually talk about all the problems because it's a negative impact. Like we have to manifest that yes, something will good, something will change in a positive way. So community success stories or innovation, youth-led action, climate heroes, those who are we have to showcase those people, those who are actually affected. And also, when society sees that change is possible, they become part of it. So another thing is that use social media and storytelling effectively, because denialism is more like spread the good news. We must actually communicate in the language and platform people understand, like this podcast we have to share. Because in this podcast, if I told only the negative, these are not that actually supposed to do that, right? So we should spread, will motivate it. So this is how we can actually connect it. And like it, Instagram, TikTok, podcast, and story documentation, documentary projects should actually a good example
Mhm.
to showcase, and that's a great um, example of turning the digital tool into the climate solutions. So this is the actually meaning that action that are small but meaningful can actually fatigue. So people need to see that how they are part of the solution. And this is how we can denialism in our society. We should actually engage, and we are actually engaging them. We organize events, we organize campaigns. So we what we do that we invite the people who are actually affected, so
Mhm.
that I we can hear their voice, we can hear their suffer, that what they are suffering or what they are what their knowledge actually. So This is how we can actually do.
Amazing. And someone said, the fact that we have the climate crisis doesn't mean we should see it as a threat only, but as an opportunity for innovation and cooperation. So now I want us to shift focus from Bangladesh and take a more international perspective of it. And I want us to come to the issue of international cooperation on climate change. Now we have what we call the Paris Agreement, which is one of you know, um, the most relevant platforms, shall I say, forums, where the issue of climate change or the discussion of climate change is being forwarded. But we have the issue of the United States pulling out of the Paris Climate Agreement. Uh, I just want to know I just want to find out from you, how can we strengthen international cooperation in the response to climate change? We are taking a more international perspective now.
Okay. I actually in this topic I found very much hypocrisy. I actually say that because if I say that USA given fund or given money to the Palestinians to kill the Muslims, okay, and they didn't give the fund to saving the planet. So this is a total hypocrisy. I actually must say, and I cannot say that does Trump know the climate change?
Mm.
He knows everything. He knows very well, and he knows the geopolitical um, situations. So it doesn't make any sense that he just drop out to the get to the Paris Agreement. But we know because we others global leaders are also take action and also will take part to the climate actions for that. So how international cooperation dealing with this? This is a conflict between, and this is why COP is happening, right? So this is the thing that COP, UNFCCC, Paris Agreement, so many conference here and there organized. This is the main thing that they cannot actually understand what we are facing, and we cannot actually raise our voice in their uh, years that you should take action. We raise our voice, and it took 29 years to tell them that we are burning, we are dying, we are facing heat waves, we are this. Uh, so it took time, 29 years, and maybe we have to do this again and again throughout this year, also in years. So another thing is that the United Nations, UNFCCC, UN agencies, they are also kind of they are also kind of hypocrite, but in other hand they are also supportive, because if they are not giving the fund, what they will do? So they
Mm.
are balancing the situation to with the US's Trump's statement. So in the from the global south, Bangladesh or others global countries which they are actually we are facing, we are negotiate with them. We are raise our voice. We ensure the fund. We want that. We negotiated that, bargaining with them. So this is how the international corporations are supposed to work, and also the NGOs, INGOs, they are also support. I cannot actually disagree that they are supporting. In my country, there's lots of INGOs are working in the coastal areas and the rural areas, those who are here, they are doing so much work. So I cannot disagree that INGOs or international NGOs does not work.
Amazing. Now, I want to ask you this from a very personal standpoint. When you take a look at the international efforts that have been made towards addressing the climate crisis, from the treaties, the funds, um, do you have any hope that we are heading on the right direction, or do you think we need to exert more reform on international institutions, or we need to adopt more robust policies? In fact, what policy framework can you propose the international community can adopt to to make the fight against climate change, or to make the fight against climate change, yes, more relevant and more effective?
Okay, so right now, if I now talk about that SDG about to end, the SDG, and before that we have MDG.
Mm,
So we should, and also the Paris Agreement. The Paris Agreement also about to end. So we have to, in my opinion, we have to create others policy, because if you say that, already I mentioned that it took 29 years, the same policy, the same treaty, the
mm,
same framework. We every year we go COP, every year we do this, everything the same thing, but there is no risk. Every time we, yeah, every time actually, in COP, I didn't attend the COP, any COP, but I follow the COPs and also the sectors.
mm,
So every time they are doing, they give us new thing. Every time the COP 28, the loss and damage. COP 29 is NCQG. COP 26, another thing I forgot. So every time they are giving new treaties, new words. So this is a total bluff, because they are not finishing everything. It seems like, I example, like I just order a food, but I didn't actually finish my food, and then I ordered another food. So I have to finish what I ordered first, nah? So we have to finish one food, then go jump to the another food. But they are, this COP mechanism is like that. Every year they are doing if this framework, this treaties does not actually working, we should go move forward to new things with the global leaders. We should negotiate. We should sit into a round table to all the global leaders, and also those who are suffering, that what they are want and what they are want. So I, in my personal opinion, I really want. And also, if I say that, replicable, because you, me, you, like we are the ultimate future. So we have to know these things deeply. The consortiums, the treaties, the conference should be youth friendly also. So in my personal opinions, there should be set a new policies framework, because old one is not working. So that's why it's my personal opinion.
mm,
Any hope to that?
amazing. I have a friend, she has been attending all the COP meetings, for the past 3 years. And the last time she attended, she really expressed her disappointment in everything, because she said, a lot of promises were made, but no progress.
Another thing I actually want to mention, that from my perspective, the policies look good on paper, but unequal. So countries most responsible for emission still haven't actually delivered the enough ambition on finance. And if I say that, say back to the COP 29, there are pledges, but actually not working. And vulnerable nations like the Africa or Nigeria are still waiting for the real support.
mm,
So shift from pledges to the progress. This is the main agenda we should say, that not the pledges, we need a progress. We need, especially in if I say the loss and damage finance, with direct access. Another thing that in COP processes, they are not defined any definition, proper definition.
mm,
So what is climate finance definition? We do not have any climate finance definition. So if they are giving us the money in which sector, so sorry, in which sector they are giving for the money, we don't know. So they are claiming that they are giving fund or money, but we don't know that in which sector they are giving the money.
mm,
Another thing is that the stronger accountability, because naming and tracking countries who delay the action, we need a fast forward action, because this COP process, these treaties process are so many slow progress, and they are giving, they are promised that they are give us the fund, and the another hand they give us after 5 years. So the disaster happens, and also the rehabilitation also happens. So
mm,
uh, uh my in short, if I say that the treaty is necessary, yeah, the treaty is necessary, but it's not enough. To policies need to be actually more inclusive,
mm,
more transparent, more justice driven, because we do not need the promises, we need the um, we need to we need power sharing. Climate treaties must be listened to the most affected, and also fund is most urgent. So in the end, we should we need treaties and these COPs also, but it should be not only pledges. It should be not any bluff. It should be transparent. It should be fast forward, and it should be accountable.
amazing. Amazing. Now, just the last question. We have about 5 minutes to go. And now I want to come to emerging technologies. Now we live in a world where technology is actually shaping everything from education to healthcare with the advent of AI and machine learning and so forth. So, but I want us to look at how technology can be adapted into the process of mitigating the effects of climate change. Which technologies, in your opinion, do you think show the most promises? And let's look at the aspect of AI and big data science. How can they be adapted in mitigating the climate crisis?
Okay, so if I say from my country, um, technology-based things in my country is it's slow, because still in my country most of the people does not actually know how to use AI, how to use the tools, because we don't have the access, because there's lots of political, geopolitical things,
Mm,
and that global north, they have all the technologies. USA's, London, they have all the technologies, but they actually not providing us the technologies to access that.
mm,
So if we do not have the technology to access, so how we can actually meet? Huh? So I feel that this is a uh, injustice for us, but still, if I say that um, how technology can be actually uh, how technology can be actually help in climate mitigation, and how um, countries should actually act. If I say that technology is central role to mitigate our climate change by helping and to reducing the greenhouse gas emission. Also use the resource for efficient and shift to more sustainable systems. So these are more severely categories of promising
Mm.
technologies. They are actually already making an impact or have a great potential. Like if I say that renewable energy technologies, and if I say that this COP will be the just transition COP because the solar, wind, hydro, geothermal, and these are actually replacing the fossil fuel. So reducing the emission in the power sector. So this is a most vital role that these things. And also countries like Bangladesh, they are scaling up the solar home system and solar irrigation in rural area. We already do productive things in this sector. And also if I say that AI data science for climate monitoring, it's a most demandable thing. And AI can actually predict the weather. AI can predict the events, then model carbon emissions, and also the optimizing the energy system. So and also in agriculture, I'm not talking about my country because I already said that my country is kind of slow progress on technology, but still we are trying to um, develop the technology part also. So in agriculture, AI helps with precision farming to reduce the fertilizer or the water waste. And also in urban areas, the smart city systems help design to the transparent transport to energy use. And also another thing is that the most vital thing is economy. So using the biodegradable materials, recycling the waste, and turning the organic to waste into the biogas. So these are like circular economy, that three are reducing, recycle, and another reuse. The
Yeah.
3R cycle we should actually, and also the eco-friendly packaging to the low carbon. So and also another thing is that we already maybe some NGO or INGO are working on that, the smart agriculture infrastructure. So climate is smart. So technologies in green building, cool roofing, and energy efficient design can actually reduce the heating and um, cooling emissions. And also just 1 month ago, our government has initiate a project which is a green cooling system. So this is a most vital thing. And also another is right now I working on the carbon capture and storage.
Mm.
So it's still in development, but CCS, the carbon capture storage, can actually trap the carbon dioxide emission from the factories or the power plants before they are entered to the atmosphere. So
Okay.
this is how actually AI or technology can actually not only just given the silver bullet, they also can be combined with a policy and also finance with
Yeah.
a local language. It's became actually a powerful force to the for
Amazing.
climate mitigation. Yeah.
Amazing. So I want to thank you. I want to thank you for your insight so far. And unfortunately, we out of time. And I hope sometime we can continue the discussion again. It's a very broad topic and it's going to take a lot of time. Just imagine the COP meetings take a lot of time to negotiate, and we are trying to do a little negotiation here too. So I think we're going to have this some other time in another way. So I want to thank you. So have a very, very wonderful rest of the evening.
Thank you so much.